Krishna. We welcome you to ISKCON of Silicon Valley's Wednesday online program. First of all, I would like to offer my respectful obeisances to all the online audience, whoever is present in the Zoom meeting as well as hearing online. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Seeking everybody's permission and blessing so that we can discuss some Krishna Katha today. So first, we can do the Mangalacharan prayer, and then we can discuss some pastimes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Tapta kanchana gaurangi radhe vrindavaneshwari vrishabhanu sute devi pranamami hari priye. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Matsamo nasti papatma naparadi chakaschana parihare pilajjame kimbruve purushottama. Yuvatinam yatha yoni yunam cha yuvatau yatha mano bhiramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvayi. Bhumau skalitapadana bhumireva avalambanam tvayi jata paradanam tvameva sharanam prabho. Govinda vallabhe radhe prarthaye tvamaham sada tvadiyam iti janatu govindo mam tvaya saha. Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamritavahini Kripaya Nijapadabja Dasyam Mahyam Pradiyatam. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Katanchana Smrite Yasmin Duskaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Viparitam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Samsara dukkha jaladau pratitasya kama krodadina kramakare kavali kritasya durvasana nigaditasya nirashrayasya chaitanya chandra mama dehi padavalambam chaitanya chandra mama dehi padavalambam. Hare Krishna. So this Sunday, before I begin, I would like to thank everybody who joined online, and I welcome everybody to the Wednesday's class. I seek everybody's blessings and permission to get started so that I can speak something about Krishna Katha today. I also offer my respectful obeisances to my Siksha Gurus and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and also the ISV temple authorities for giving me this opportunity to speak something as a service. So coming Sunday, few days from now, is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we can remember some of the glories and some of the pastimes of His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So there is one song that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written. Like if you go to the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, there is a Guru Parampara given. So Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, and like that, Madhvacharya, and then comes to the six Goswamis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, six Goswamis, and all our Acharyas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then Srila Prabhupada. So this whole thing is actually, this whole parampara is actually a song written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so which we will sing today. And I have Avanish here, so he will be helping to play Mridanga. And then Prabhu, if you can project the song, we can do that. If you can increase the font a little bit, Command plus, yeah, little one more, Prabhu. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Yes. So as I told, the author of this particular song is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and it goes Krishna Haite Chaturmukha. And this is the whole parampara of our acharyas going back to Krishna. Krishna Haite Chaturmukha, Hoya Krishna Sevanmukha, Brahma Haite Narade Rama. Prabhuji, can you go to 2? Can you please scroll up? Okay. So if it is breaking up, is it because of Kartal or let's see?
Yes, Prabhu. Sometimes it happens because of the kartal. So try singing without the kartal.
Okay. So without the Kartal, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me if this is better, or otherwise we can switch. We'll do one stanza.
Okay.
Krishna Haite Chaturmukha, Hoya Krishna Sevanmukha, Dhamma Haite Narade Rama. How is this, Prabhu?
Is better, but it is still breaking.
Okay, maybe it's because of the original sound. Let's see. Okay, I think now it should be good. So let's try this, Prabhu.
Okay.
Krishna Hoite Chaturmukha, Hoya Krishna Sevanmukha, Brahma Hoite Narade Ramati.
Perfect.
Is good, Prabhu? Okay, thank you. Krishna Haite Chaturmukha, Hoya Krishna Sevanmukha, Brahma Haite Narade Ramati, Narad Haite Vyasa Madhva Kohe Vyasa Dasa, Purna Prajna Padmana बोली अंगीकारा को रे अक्षो तीर्थनामे परिचय हरदास्ये जन सिन्धुतो रे अहैते दयानिधि हरदास विद्यानिधि राजेन्द्र हैले तहैते अहर्किंको जया धर्म नाम परिचय परम्परा जानो भालो माते जया धर्म दास्ये ख्याति श्री पुरुषोत्तमा जाति महते ब्रह्मण्य तीर्थसूरि व्यासतीर्थधरदास लक्ष्मीपति व्यासदास हैते माधवेन्द्र पुरी माधवेन्द्र पुरी शिष्यावार श्रीश्वर नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत विभो ईश्वरपुरी के धन्य गौरीले श्री चैतन्य जगद्गुरु गौरा महाप्रभु श्री चैतन्य राधा कृष्ण हे अन्य रूपानुगा जने राजीवाना विश्वाम्भरा प्रियंकर विश्वरूप दामोदर श्री गोस्वामी रूप सनातन रूप प्रिया महाजन जीव रघुनाथान हरा प्रिया कवि कृष्णदास कृष्णदास प्रिया बार नरोत्तम सेवा पार जरापाद विश्वनाथ विश्वनाथ भक्त साथ बलदेवा जगन्नाथ हरा प्रिया श्री भक्ति विनोदा महाभागवत वर श्री गौरा किशोरा वर हरि भजन तेज मोदा इहार परमहंस गौरांगे निज वंश राधे आचरणे नामगति नमे सेवा उदासीना नमे ते त्रिदंडी दीना श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती श्रीवासाभानवीवर सदा सेव्या सेवा पार आहारादयिता दासनामा हरा प्रधान प्रचारको श्री भक्ति वेदांता नाम गति ते जनिते दोया धाम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. So, as I told, this song is written by Srila. Thank you very much, Avanish. This song is written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and how beautifully Srila Prabhupada has followed in the footsteps of his spiritual master and exactly decoded those names in this particular song and put them in the parampara, which is present in the Bhagavad Gita as it is in the introduction of the last chapter. So the end of the introduction, we see all this parampara. So today, Sunday, coming Sunday will be the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we'll recollect and relish some of the pastimes. So we'll start with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's childhood pastimes. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the father of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was praying to Lord Krishna, please send me a ray of Vishnu, so that your mission will be propagated all over the world. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he appeared in the holy dham of Jagannath Puri in the year 1874, and when he was born, interestingly, the umbilical cord was wrapped around him like a Brahmana thread. The Brahmana thread decorates those who are twice born. We have a Brahmana thread, so exactly like that, the umbilical cord is present when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born. This indicates very, very rare and very auspicious sign. So all the astrologers and all the Brahmanas who saw this birth, they were saying that this is a very unusual, very rare and a very auspicious birth. And also astrologers have predicted that this child who is born is not an ordinary human being. Actually, he is a Mahapurusha. He is endowed with all highest excellence of spiritual characteristics. And he will also preach the highest truth to all the humanity. And then he will take the mission forward of God consciousness. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a small boy of about 5 to 6 months old, the Jagannath Ratha cart has stopped in front of their home, and when the Ratha is going on from Jagannath Kshetra to Gundicha, it came to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and stopped there. And no matter how many people and how many elephants are used to pull the cart and push the carts, no matter what endeavor they were doing, the Ratha would not move. And this is not, this happens like even when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. Once the cart was stopped and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to personally go behind the cart and then push with his head, and then the cart will start moving. So this also indicates a very significant importance. And it stayed there for several days. And the wife of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Shri Yukta Bhagavati Devi Dasi, so she took the child, and then she went, and then she wants to take darshan of the Lord, and she took the little Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in her arms. And then when she went near the cart, she placed this child on top of the cart, and people welcomed him. And this child immediately creeped into to touch the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath. And when he was touching and taking the dust of Lord Jagannath, a very interesting thing happened. the garland from Jagannath fell on his body, encircling his body. And this is also a very, very significant moment. And this confirms that Lord Jagannath is blessing this particular boy. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur at this time, he confirms that, okay, my prayers are answered. And I was asking and I was praying to send a ray of Vishnu, and seeing this garland falling on the child and encircling him, it is confirmed that his prayers are answered. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very, very happy and jubilant. And the parents named this child as Bimala Prasad. So this is also a very special name, Bimala Prasad. So Vimala Devi is the pleasure potency of Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna. So even today, after the bhoga is offered to Jagannath, it is first all that bhoga is sent to Vimala Devi, and then it is distributed. So to the normal all the devotees. So in order to have Jagannath Prasadam, first it is offered to Lord Jagannath, and then to Vimala Devi, and then it comes to the devotees. There is a very interesting pastime of why the prasad is actually sent to Vimala Devi. So once Narada Muni was Narada Muni was always asking Lakshmi Devi, please give me some remnants of Lord. And so after the Lord eats, please give me some remnants. He was asking Lakshmi Devi. So Lakshmi Devi says that it is very rare, you don't get the prasad of the Lord like that. And sometimes, after repeated requests, once he gets some Mahaprasad, which are the remnants of Lord Vishnu. So Lakshmi Devi give the Mahaprasad to Narada, and Narada, he honors that Mahaprasadam, and he has so much consciousness, so much love for the Lord's Mahaprasad. So as soon as he honors that, he is completely surcharged with jubilance, and he was dancing in ecstasy. He was singing and he was dancing, and he was his hair is standing on end, and he is like, his tears are coming from his eyes, and he is so ecstatic. And in that, he's Narada Muni usually travels all around the places, from Vishnu Loka, from Vaikunta, from all the places. And then he was also dancing in Kailash. So at that time, suddenly Lord Shiva observes, oh, Narada ji, how come Narada, you are so happy today? You are dancing very jubilantly. I see a lot of ecstatic symptoms coming from your body, appearing from your body. What is the secret? What is happening? Then Narada Muni says that, today I got the Mahaprasad of Krishna. So, I honored that and I went into this ecstasy. Then actually Lord Shiva was very upset. And he says that, you are supposed to share anything. You are a Vaishnava. And then, whatever the remnants, such a great opportunity you got, how come you did not share with me? And Narada was thinking, oh, this is right. And then something is stuck at the fingertips of Narada. So he scraped those fingertip with the prasadam, that Mahaprasadam got stuck in the nails of Narada Muni. And then he honors it, Lord Shiva honors it. And as soon as Lord Shiva takes that Mahaprasadam coming from a devotee again, he is surcharged with super ecstatic symptoms, and then immediately started dancing. And then what Lord Shiva, he's doing a tandav actually. He's doing dancing and he's ecstatic, he's very jubilant. And then it appeared that everybody was thinking, is this Mahapralaya going to come? Because Lord Shiva also dances at the time of devastation. So he is so jubilantly dancing. Parvati Devi comes, and then she looks at Lord Shiva and she says, wow, you're dancing so well. This is not the time for devastation. What is the reason? What is so special? And she sees both Narada Muni and Lord Shiva dancing. And then Mother Parvati, she will ask, why are you both dancing? And then Lord Shiva says that today I got the remnants of Lord Vishnu. I got the remnants of Lord Krishna. And I honored that, and I was in transcendental ecstasy. And then immediately Mother Parvati says, what about me? how come you missed me? I didn't get this Mahaprasadam. How come you are honoring your dancing and all these things without me getting these remnants? So immediately now both of them will stop, and then Parvati Devi is little upset, and then now they are thinking, what to do, and she's very angry as well that she did not get the Mahaprasad, whereas these people had without giving it to her. So and the scrape, all the Mahaprasad is already scraped from the nails of Narada, and nothing is left now. So then, because she is very angry and upset, they all will pray to Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and then Vishnu appears there, and then he says, "What is the matter?" And then they tells the whole pastime, and then Mother Parvati is asking, "How come I did not get the remnants? They both got it, and what about all my children?" So we are all actually, in the material world, whoever is there, we are also considered children of Mother Parvati, because she is the material energy of the Lord. So when she says that, then Krishna says that, okay, I'll appear in Jagannath Puri, and any bhoga that is offered to me first will come to you, and you will appear as Vimala Devi. So that's how the tradition is, like all the bhoga, first they offer it to Lord Jagannath, and then they'll take it to Vimala Devi, and then they'll distribute. So Vimala Prasad is the name of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The parents gave name Vimala Prasad. So if you want to get Jagannath Prasad, we should get it from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is a nice pastime. And when he was a child of 3 years old, once Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gets some mangoes, and he puts it in a bhoga plate, and then he wants to offer it to the Lord. And meanwhile, little Bimala Prasad, he comes and he takes a mango and he eats it. And then the father comes and says, "Oh, my dear Bimala Prasad, why did you eat the mango? This is supposed to be offered to Krishna. We have to first offer to Jagannath, and then we have to take it as prasadam. We should never eat without offering it to Krishna." So that at that time, Vimala Prasad is only 3 years old, the small boy, and then he was so upset, and then he took a vow on the day: never again in the life I will eat a mango. I'm an offender. I ate the mango without giving it to the Lord. So that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur never ate mango in his entire life. Even when he was in 60 years old, when somebody offered, he remembered and he told that, "You know what, I'm an offender. I did not offer the mango. I ate the mango which is supposed to be offered to Krishna, Jagannath, but because of that offense, I took a vow that I will not eat a mango." So that was the determination of this boy. And then slowly this boy is growing up, and when he was about 7 years old, his father was actually constructing a beautiful bhajan kutir. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is constructing a bhajan kutir, and this is the current Bhakti Bhavan in Calcutta. Whatever the Bhakti Bhavan we have in Calcutta today, that was actually the building. That is the kutir was built by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So when they were digging for the foundation, they found Kurmadev appeared. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave this Kurmadev deity to Bimala Prasad, and he also explained how to worship properly. So basically, Kurmadev is worshipped for a strong spiritual foundation, right? So Kurmadev, these when the demigods and the demons were churning the ocean, they don't have a foundation. So they were churning with this the whole Mandarachala Parvat in the ocean, and then when they were churning, there is no basis for that. So then the Lord appeared in the form of Kurmadev, and on top of Kurmadev, the mountain is kept, and then they were starting churning. So that's how the Lord gave the foundation for that churning. So similarly, devotees, if they want spiritual foundation, they worship Kurmadev. So this also, Kurmadev worship also gives the stability in the devotion. So at the age of 7 years, this Vimala Prasad, the boy, was nicely worshipping Kurmadev. And then at the age of 7, Vimala Prasad is so smart and so dedicated that he memorized every shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Not only he memorized every shloka of Bhagavad Gita, he would give elaborate commentary on the shlokas. And then he would defeat any opinion which was averse to the pure principles of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So at that age. So he was so much equipped. And he was very, very intelligent and learned. He's going to school, but he never read any books related to school, except for his father's books and Narottam Das Thakur's books. He reads them a lot. He read all his father's book, and he's very much attracted to Narottam Das Thakur's books. But he's not at all interested in any regular academic books. But in spite of that, he used to always stand topper in his class. He used to get the highest grades. And if he hears anything once, he would never forget that. So he's that brilliant. He was such a brilliant student. And he gets all highest grades. And then when he was 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, when he was growing up, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to give some classes and lectures, and he used to listen to those lectures very raptly, with rapt attention. And then a lot of times there are a lot of other great acharyas who were giving classes, and other great devotees, they would give classes, and this boy would very, very with rapid attention and with full focus, he used to absorb in those narrations. And then he is learning everything, and he never forgets anything. He's so determined, he's so sincere, and he's so impressive. Everybody liked him for his academics and for his ability to and an attraction to kind of sit and listen to his father's lectures and all the acharyas' lectures. And when he grew to the age of 13 years, his father gave him a Tulsi Japamala, which he got from Jagannath Puri, and he also gave the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he taught him how to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he also gave him Narasimha Mantra. So at 13 years, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in the name of Vimala Prasad, this boy, he was worshipping Kurmadev for spiritual stability, and he was worshipping Narasimhadev for protection of all the danger of Maya. And he was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very intensely to purify his heart for getting the highest destination of transcendental love of God. And then slowly he grew up, and then he came to the age of 16 years, and then he was going to school, and he is the most brilliant student in the school. He's always absorbed in studying Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books. And then at that age, he also started an organization called August Assembly. And the philosophy or the importance of this August Assembly is, anyone who joins this assembly will only talk about bhakti and spirituality and nothing else. Only those two topics, bhakti and spirituality. And anyone who wants to join the August Assembly created by him, the student have to take a lifelong vow of celibacy. Many of his friends enthusiastically joined, very impressed with this August Assembly. But actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the only person who fulfilled that vow of lifelong celibacy and to remain like that. And but all the other children, they joined out of enthusiasm, but he's the only one who remained very till the end, who is fulfilling that particular vow. And in the college, he was given scholarship in Sanskrit College of Calcutta, and he was so brilliant student. He's considered the greatest in the astrology. So in the astrological science, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his time is considered to be the topmost. And he's the topper in Sanskrit, in philosophy, in mathematics. He used to be the number one student, and he mastered everything. He read every book of philosophy and religion in the entire library, and he completely memorized all of that. So if somebody Like there are hundreds and thousands of books in the library, and if somebody says that in this particular book, page number 65, what is written, he would just tell that. So he is that brilliant. And then later he also wrote a book named Surya Siddhanta. So this is a commentary on Surya Siddhanta. And because he wrote this particular book, he's awarded the title Siddhanta Saraswati. So that's how he got the Siddhanta Saraswati name. And then because he's so brilliant, he's also offered a seat in the college as a professor. While he was studying, he's also given a seat in the college as a professor. But unlike other students, he actually left college. He said that he writes in his autobiography why he left college. So if he have high education with honors, everyone expects much of him, right? You should get married, and then you will get a great post in the society, and then the society expects, and you have to deal with the marriage and the material affairs. But he wants to be a simple, and he wants to become a brahmachari, a celibate all through his life. And so that was his thing, and he never completed, and he left the college, although he was given and offered a seat as a professor in the college in those days. His goal is to kind of go and understand the philosophy of God consciousness and how to do good for others. So he doesn't want to get into any of this material education and honors and respect from the society and all that. But our Guru Vargas, they warn that we should not imitate him. He is a great acharya, and then he would generally do anything only for the pleasure of Krishna, and he will do nothing for his own profit, for his own adulation, or getting respect from anybody. All his dealings, everything is only to please Krishna. So that is how his childhood was there. And then as he's growing up, we'll enter into the pastimes, how he met his guru and his dealings with his Guru Maharaj. So in 1905, this Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took a vow to chant 1 billion names of Krishna. So that's 100 crores. So 1 billion names of Krishna. So he had a plan to chant 3 lakh names every day. He's exactly following the footsteps of Haridas Thakur. So in order to do 3 lakh names every day, he has to do 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? We all do 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It will take 2 hours. If you were to do 192 rounds, it will take 22 to 24 hours. So practically all day and all night. And he was chanting 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, continuously for 4 years. He chanted like this. And then he was given a house. They were given a house at a place of Chandrasekhar Acharya, which is also called Vrajapatana, and they moved near the bank of Ganges, and they were living in a hut, and he lived in that hut for 9 years and remained in Mayapur, so chanting this 192 rounds every day. And then so he was residing in Yogapita, the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip, Mayapur. So like that, he took this vow of completing 1 billion names of Krishna. And he also observed Chaturmasya Vrat. So Chaturmasya will come towards the end of the year, and then Kartik Mas, and then in and around that, for 4 months they have to do the Chaturmasya. So he took a vow of following Chaturmasya for 9 years. So at the time, so the vows of Chaturmasya is like this: you have to actually sleep on the ground. Between your body and the ground, there should be nothing, not even a cloth, nothing. So it's your body and the ground. So he was sleeping on the ground. There is no pillow. And then he used to cook rice and some dal or khichdi. And at the time of honoring, he will eat only 1 day. And when he is honoring, he has to eat like a cow. he puts his hands on the back and he would bow down, and then he can eat as much food as he can eat in one breath. As soon as he takes air into his body, like by breathing in, that will stop. So he will bend like a cow with hands in the back, and then he can eat only to the point of one breath. And that's it for the day. No more food for that particular day. So that is the vow. And he did this austerity for 9 years. And sometimes there were rains, there were floods, and we see Mayapur even in the current temple, Mayapur Chandrodaya temple, we see in the rainy season, the whole thing gets flooded, and sometimes, the water, all the devotees, they are actually swimming to take the darshan of the Lord. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's roof would leak, so he's living in a hut and it is raining, so he used to keep an umbrella and he used to sit and chant. So that was the extent of the austerities that he has done. And then, so his spiritual master's name is Gaurikishore Das Babaji. So he's a great devotee from Vrindavan Dham, and he is coming to Navadvip. So Gaurikishore Das Babaji is actually coming to Navadvip, and he is a disciple of Bhagavad Das Babaji, who himself is a disciple of Jagannath Das Babaji. And this Gaurikishore Das Babaji is actually wearing a tiger skin hat. And then he has a basket of prasadam and all the articles from Vrindavan. So he comes and he sees this boy, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and as soon as he sees him, first he will gift that hat, the tiger skin hat. He will gift it to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That hat is given to Gaurikishore Das Babaji from his Guru Maharaj. And he also gave a stamp with tilak marks, and which will imprint the names of Krishna. And also he gave a piece of rope with knots so that he can chant the names of Krishna. So these are the things that is given by his Guru. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very much attracted to this Gaurikishore Das Babaji. And one day Bhaktivinoda Thakur told his son Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you must take initiation from this Babaji. Because without initiation from a proper spiritual master, spiritual progress cannot be made. And then the whole idea of living is a life, in this particular life, is to get diksha from a spiritual master, and under the guidance of the spiritual master do the service. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj told, Bhaktivinoda Thakur told to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then he made a determination within himself that he will go and ask for diksha. And with diksha only, the Krishna's connection is imparted, and the connection is established and imparted through the process of diksha. So he goes in front of Gaurikishore Das Babaji, and then but Gaurikishore Das Babaji never gave initiation to anybody. He never gave. He doesn't have any disciples. Also, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that, I want to take initiation, Gaurikishore Das Babaji is saying that I'm an illiterate by material standards. I mean, I cannot write my own name, and he can hardly read. So he's an illiterate. And whereas Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is the most learned scholar of the world, in his time he is the most learned person. There is nobody as brilliant as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Gaurikishore Das Babaji, how can I give initiation to such a learned scholar? You're all educated and you're very intelligent. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur requests, all this education, all this intelligence is of no use. It's only the bhakti for Krishna which is the essence, and that is what you have. And he goes to his father, and then he again gathers a lot of devotion, and then he goes in front of his guru and then says, my dear guru, please, I want to take initiation from you. I want to take diksha from you. Please do not say no. All my education, all my intelligence is of no use without bhakti for Krishna. So upon requesting, Gaurikishore Das Babaji says that, okay, I will discuss this matter with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When I talk to him next time, I'll discuss this matter. Now see, this is happening in the year 1902, in the 19th century. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left in the 15th century, 16th century. There were few centuries. That means Gaurkishore Das Babaji used to talk to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu frequently. So after a few months passed, and then one day again Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur goes, and then he asks his guru, "My dear Guru Maharaj, did you talk to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?" He said, "Yes, I talked to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." I said, "What did he say? Did you talk about my initiation?" "Oh, I forgot to talk about your initiation. I talked to him, but I forgot to talk about you." So then again he said that, "Okay, next time when I talk to him, I will try to remember, and I'll ask about you." And few months passed, and then again Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur approaches his potential spiritual master, and he requests, "My dear Maharaj, did you get a chance to talk to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?" He said, "Yes, I spoke to him, but I also spoke about your subject of initiation." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that I don't have to give any initiation. Now at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is so much overwhelmed with grief, and he felt that, and he is thinking himself that, what is the use of all my education? What is the use of all this life if I cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You're all sadhus who come to deliver the fallen souls, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Mahavadanyaya. He is the most munificent incarnation. If I cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if I cannot get the mercy of you, what is the use of my life? And why am I even living? And he immediately collapsed there in a puddle of tears. And seeing his humility, seeing his condition, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji now agrees, "Okay, I'll give you initiation." And he's very much impressed by the utter humility of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he says, you go take bath in the river Saraswati and come back. And on that day, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur goes to Saraswati river, and he takes bath and comes back. And on that very day, on that auspicious day, he gives initiation. And after initiating Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his guru never initiated anybody in his life. So he's the only disciple. And in those days, all the people in Navadvip, they were criticizing, how come you are all worshipping, and especially Brahmins, they are actually doing Gayatri. Who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? We don't believe him as a god, but you are chanting Gaura Gayatri mantras. So if somebody is second initiated, then they will get a list of mantras, and there is Gaura Gayatri mantras also in that. But these Brahmanas are all saying that this is not, this is false. There is no, we don't accept Lord Chaitanya as a god. He is a Babaji, but how can you call him as a Lord? And how can you chant his Gayatri mantras? This is all not correct. You're not doing right. So in order to stop this, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati organized a lecture and a debate in the entire town of Navadvip. So all the Brahmanas and everybody, all the learned people came. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur forcefully explained about Lord Chaitanya Deva. He talked about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he quoted from several scriptures. He quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam. He quoted from Shvetasvatara Upanishad. He quoted from Atharva Veda. He quoted from Chaitanya Upanishad. And then he brought so many shlokas and convinced everybody that who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the in the Kali Yuga, he is the incarnation. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, if you see, sage Karabhajana Muni, after describing the incarnation of Godhead in all the yugas like Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, then he presented some suitable prayers which are utilized for worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 5th chapter 32 shloka says, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnai Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedasaha. So the meaning is, in the age of Kali, intelligent people performs congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead. Sumedha Saha. Somebody, Medha Saha is intelligence. Somebody who Sumedha Saha means very fine intelligence. Somebody who is very highly intelligent. They will worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's Krishna himself. Although his complexion is not blackish, he came in a golden complexion. He's not like not blackish, but and he is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Then again, Karabhajana Muni continues in the next two shlokas. Shloka number 33 and 34 says, Dhyeyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham tirthaspadam shivavirinchinutam sharanyam bhrityartiham pranatapal bhavabdipotam vande mahapurushate charanaravindam त्यक्त्वा सुदुष्टजसुरेप्सितराज्यलक्ष्मीं धर्मिष्ठार्या वचसा यदगाधरण्यं मायामृगं दयितयेप्सितमन्वधावद् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्. So these shlokas are saying, my dear Lord, you are the Mahapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet. I will take your lotus feet as the boat to cross over this ocean of birth and death. Lord Shiva, Brahma, Shiva Virinchi Nutam Sharanyam, they have taken shelter to cross over this nescience of birth and death in this material world. So this is the conclusion. Actually, I want to take the suitable boat for crossing, and that is your lotus feet. And Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva also sought shelter at your lotus feet. And the second shloka, Tyaktva Sudeshtaja Surepshita Rajya Lakshmi. O Mahapurusha, even you gave up the association of goddess of fortune and all her opulence. All the demigods and everybody wants to, are hankering to get the darshan of Lakshmi Devi, but you left. And then you came to actually show mercy to all these fallen people. Out of sheer mercifulness, you have chased after the fallen conditioned souls who have always in the pursuit of false enjoyment of illusion. And then you gave this love of Godhead to everybody. So these shlokas were mentioned in Bhagavatam. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is quoting all this, and from Shvetashvara Upanishad and Atharva Veda. In Atharva Veda there is one more shloka which says, I will descend on the earth after the passage of 4,000 years in the Kali Yuga, and before the passage of 5,000 years, I will come on the earth on the bank of Ganges. I will be a tall and saintly Brahmana devotee. I will have all auspicious symptoms of an exalted person. I will exhibit renunciation. I will have all auspicious signs. I will be a devotee practicing Bhakti Yoga, will taste the rasa of my own devotional service. So this is the prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is also mentioned in Atharva Veda and Chaitanya Upanishad. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quoted all these, and he defeated all those arguments when they are saying that how can you chant Gaura Gayatri? We don't take into account that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the one who established and who silenced all these Brahmanas, so-called Brahmanas who were not aware of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when this discussion is happening, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is defeating all these and is bringing all these arguments, Gaura Kishore Das Babaji is hiding in that assembly and is hidden, and he's seeing the glories of his disciple, and he was so happy. And then he's so proud and he's so pleased with his disciple, and he started calling him as Prabhu. You are my Prabhu. So here the Guru is calling his disciple as Prabhu. And then he says that such austerity, such kind of knowledge, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you got only because of the merits of Srila Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami. And he's saying that this is my Prabhu. And if you see, Gaura Kishore Das Babaji is the embodiment of renunciation. Is the renunciation personified. That's why we pray, Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murte Vipralambha Rasambode Padam Bhujav Te Namaha. So in 1914, Bhaktivinoda Thakur disappeared from this world in the Bhakti Bhavan, And then in the later year 1915, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, he disappeared. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is living in Kulia, in the modern day Navadvip. And the Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is so renounced that he used to go to very secluded places where all the materialistic people would never go. Like he would go to a place where people pass stool and urine. He would go to a latrine and then he would chant he would do the bhajan in the latrine and he would be chanting there. So that he doesn't want others to come and disturb him when he is chanting. Usually all these materialistic people, they go and they ask for benedictions. I want this, I want that, please give me this benediction, what should I do? So all these saintly people, if you go for asking for something related to bhakti, they will be happy. But if you go with your material problems, they have no patience for answering that. So Jagannath, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is so renounced that he used to do his bhajan in the latrine. And sometimes he used to walk in the Ganges and take some mud from the Ganges and eat that. And then that is his meal for the day. Because every morsel, every piece of dust in Navadvip, he considers it as very, very precious. So when Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, when he left his body, because he is a very, very popular, very, very great Babaji, everybody wants to claim his body. Everybody wants to claim his body because if they take the body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and if they put a samadhi, they will get a lot of donations and they will become more popular. Everybody will worship them. So that is their intention. So a lot of people are coming there and they are claiming that this body belongs to me. A lot of sannyasis came. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is actually living in Mayapur. When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he discovered Lord Chaitanya's birthplace, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the one who actually built the temple. And when they were digging for the temple, Adokshaja Vishnu deity appeared, and that deity is worshipped by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family. So somehow Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has swam across that river and he went to this commotion where this whole thing is going on to claim the body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. There were a lot of police, there were a lot of people there. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told that nobody of you can claim this body. Nobody of you is actually pure to claim this body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Only I am the person who can claim this. And everybody is saying that you are just a brahmachari. You are not even a sannyas. How can you claim? We are all sannyas. We are all Babajis. We have the rightful claim. Then he stands up and he boldly declares, if you want to claim this body, anybody who did not have sex with a woman for 1 year, come forward. Nobody came forward. There were all these Babaji sannyasis fighting for the claim for this particular body. And then he says, anybody who did not have sex with a woman for 1 month, come forward. Nobody came forward. And he says that anybody who did not touch a woman for a week, come forward. Anybody who did not touch a woman for 3 days, come forward. And all these people who are claiming that I will take this body, they all did not come forward. And the police said that, do you want us to investigate all these people? Then they said that, no. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, no, I will take their word for granted. And then when he roared with courage, saying that these statements, everybody started turning their backs and leaving. So finally, he took claim of the body of his Guru Maharaj. And then some people, again, some sannyasis came and says that Gaur Kishore Das Babaji has a wish. Like when he dies, his body has to be dragged in the streets of Navadvip. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told that this is the humility of my Guru. He is humility personified. That's why he told those words. That does not mean literally we drag his body on all the grounds of Navadvip. His body is as worshipable as Haridas Thakur. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally lifted Haridas Thakur's body and he danced and he did the last rites for Haridas Thakur. My Guru Maharaj is worthy of to be placed in the hands of the Lord, not to be dragged in the streets of Navadvip. So he challenged everybody and he convinced. And there was a very intelligent person when Gaurkishore Das Babuji was giving some lectures. This intelligent person, he was asking a lot of questions. When he asked all these questions, Gaurkishore Das Babaji says that you should go to my Guru. I mean, he's addressing his disciple, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and you should get classes from him. His name is, that intelligent person's name is Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan. So here again, Guru is calling his disciple as Guru. So that is his humility. So this Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan, he listened to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and completely got convinced. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told that, you take some leave and come back to me. We can spend more time. So at the time, he goes and he comes back, and when he comes back, this whole thing about claiming that body of Gaurkishore Das Babaji and how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is fighting to get the body of his guru, he saw all that. And then they do the they claim the body, and after that, this particular Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan, he tells Gaurkishore, he tells Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you should preach. You should go all around Calcutta and you should preach. There should be no other business for you. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you are very intelligent. You are very, very blessed. You are supposed to take this message. And that rings, when he is talking, that rings the reminder of his Guru. So his Guru Maharaj, Gaurkishore Das Babaji's first instruction to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is, you should preach the absolute truth of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. All over. And there is no other business for you. Other than preaching, there is no other business. So that was his Guru's first instruction. And that again got reminded by this Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan's words. But how can he preach? I mean, he has no money, he has no resources, he has no contacts. So one day he gets a dream. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gets a dream. In that dream, he saw Panchatattva. He saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw Nityananda Prabhu, he saw Advaita Acharya, he saw Gadadhar Pandit, he saw Srivas Thakur, Thakura. And then all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were all dancing. It is in his dream. And then they were dancing in transcendental kirtan. He saw Bhakti Vinod Thakur, there is Jagannath Das Babaji, there is Gaurkishore Das Babaji. And everybody in unison, they are saying that, go and preach. We are with you. You have our blessings. Our presence is there always for you. Our full blessings are there with you. Our full power is there with you. Go and preach. So this is similar to what Prabhupada saw. So Prabhupada in the Jaladuta, he also saw a dream. So Prabhupada is traveling in this cargo ship, and then he goes through 3 heart attacks at the age of 70. He's crossing the Atlantic Ocean to come to United States for the first time. And then he has no support, no money. After suffering 3 heart attacks, one day he gets a dream that Krishna with all his incarnations are in a boat and they are taking care of that boat. So similarly, Prabhupada also got such a dream to take this mission forward. So that was the dream that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had to take the movement forward. And this Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan, later he came to know known as Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj. So later, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur decided to take sannyas. So at that time, his Guru Maharaj already left his body. So his Guru Maharaj is not there. and there is no god brothers who is a sannyas. If guru is not there, we can take sannyas from your god brothers who are already sannyasis. But he doesn't have, his guru did not initiate anybody else other than him, so he doesn't have any god brothers to take sannyas from. So in 1918 he put a picture of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and in front of that, on the day of Gaura Purnima, according to the rituals and principles of Ramanuja Sampradaya, he took the danda, he took the mantra, and he did the yajna. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took sannyas himself in front of the picture of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And at that time, he's officially known as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. And then he began preaching in Calcutta. So we have two more pastimes, very, very interesting pastimes. Once Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also defended the Vaishnava philosophy. So during Jagannath Das Babaji's spiritual master of his father, he came to Navadvip from Vrindavan, and seeing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, how learned, how incredible professor in the Vaishnava philosophy, he asked him to make a Vaishnava calendar. So today, if you see whatever the Vaishnava calendar we are seeing, all the acharyas appearance, disappearance, and all the festivals and everything, it is all, that whole calendar is actually done by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then in those times, there is all these Brahmanas, and then there are these Goswamis. They were all saying that, you cannot do anything, you cannot preach anything if you are not from a Brahmana family. Actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. So it is all guna and not janma. It is not by birth. But people, the propaganda there is, we are all caste Brahmanas. Our fathers is Brahmana, so I am a Brahmana, I will teach. But if you are not a Brahmana, from a Brahmana caste, you cannot teach. This was very rampant in those days. So at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was asked to go and put an end to this. So at that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wants to put an end, but there was a he got very high fever, and then and he's thinking, is there no Vaishnava who can shut these people? These so-called Brahmanas, they are actually teaching, they are not teaching how to give up sin, and they are adored and respected for no reason, and they don't follow any of these things. And if you see, Shyamananda Goswami was not a Brahmana, but Rasikananda is from a very higher Brahmana caste. He took initiation from Shyamananda Goswami. Ganganarayan and Ramakrishna are very high class Brahmana families, but they took initiation from Narottam Das Thakur. So in order to put a stop, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is trying to find who is that person whom I can send to this conference. And there is also a class called Goswami class. There is a Semen alliance of pujaris of these Goswamis, and they're actually atheists, but they treat deity as a stone, but it is a very popular stone. That's why people give donations and all that. They are really not following any of the Goswamis. They are actually Godasas. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati heard his father is calling out, then he wrote a paper. And according to Shastras, he defined what is a Brahmana and what is a Vaishnava, who is a Vaishnava. And then, so after reading that paper, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very, very ecstatic. And then he said, okay, this is the person. I'm going to send Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur goes, and in that assembly, there are all these Brahmanas, caste Brahmanas, all these so-called Goswamis were in that assembly. And it's like a world forum of debate. And then a lot of Brahmanas glorified themselves, and when it comes to all the Vaishnavas selected Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then he started. So he spoke for 30 minutes glorifying Brahmanas. Now everybody is thinking, oh, he's glorifying myself, he's among us. He's not talking anything about Vaishnava yet. Then he spoke. Yare dekha tara kaha Krishna upadesh, Amar Ajna Guru haya tara e desh. So instruct everyone to follow the orders of Sri Krishna, as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody who is illiterate, and he further told, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyaya Nyasi Shudra Kena Nyaya Ye Krishna Tattva Veta Se Guru Haya. Whether one is a Brahmana or a Sannyasi or Shudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. Anybody who knows the science of Krishna can become a spiritual master. So he spoke in that assembly, and after that there were 3 days of debates, and in the 3 days he refuted everybody's argument to pieces, to powder. And later he gave a 2-hour lecture, and nobody was able to come up with any arguments. Then he declared, and all the Vaishnavas saw Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, and they wanted to take the dust off his lotus feet. And there is a big commotion, there is police and all these people. And then finally, they got a bucket of water. They forcefully put the lotus feet of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the bucket of water, and then they took the remnants off as the Charanamrit. So that's how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has established the Vaishnavism all over the world. And he gave 8 instructions. These 8 instructions are very important for us to remember and etch in our hearts. Everything is dependent. The first instruction he gave is everything is dependent on Krishna. We just surrender to Krishna. So that is his first instruction, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's. Whatever we do, whatever we are doing, and whatever we are able to do, everything is coming from Krishna. We are utterly dependent on Krishna, and we have to surrender to Krishna. And the second instruction he gave is preach the teachings of Rupa and Raghunath with all your energy and resources. So whatever we have, whether we are intelligent, whether we are brilliant, whether we are beautiful, we can sing well, we can work well, we have a skill to do certain work, utilize everything, whatever you have, and use that should be used in the service of Krishna. Our ultimate goal is to become the dust of the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. That is the teaching of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The third instruction he gave is, you should all work conjointly under the spiritual master with a view to serve the absolute knowledge, the supreme personality of Godhead. Now, working conjointly. So Srila Prabhupada's last instruction in 1977 is also same. You can show your love for me, how you cooperate together in fulfilling this mission. So what does that mean is, when we are with devotees, we have different spiritual masters and we have differences in opinion, and there are several types of devotees. We have to come together, and then we have to cooperate, and then we have to together serve and fulfill the mission of Srila Prabhupada. That is why if you see all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, all the senior sannyasis and all the spiritual masters that we see nowadays, they cooperate so well. They have such loving exchanges with themselves. We should follow in their footsteps. Yes, there will be disagreements, but somehow we have to come together and work in unison. And how to the ability to cooperate, that shows how much they love Srila Prabhupada. And if we are able to cooperate, that is how we show our love to our own spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada as well. And the fourth instruction he gave is, you should somehow live without quarrel. And these words are very, very, very powerful. Without quarreling, somehow you have to live without quarreling. Now, how do we do that? Only when we put Krishna in the center, we will be able to do that. So there could be n number of reasons for quarreling or having a disagreement with different departments of the temple, different devotees, but somehow we have to live without quarreling. And the fifth instruction he gave is, do not give up your service in spite of all danger, all criticism, all discomforts. Because they will come. Because I am serving Krishna, everything will be fine. This is not true. And if you think that everyone will love me because I'm a devotee of Krishna, everyone will praise me, everyone will, and everything will be comfortable because I am serving Krishna. Now, if you are thinking like that, then read Bhagavad Gita. If you see Arjuna, he has gone through a lot of dangers. He faced a lot of criticism. He faced a lot of discomforts. If we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we see Pandavas, we see Dhruva Maharaj, we see Prahlad Maharaj, we see Ambarish Maharaj, we see Gajendra. All these pastimes will tell that the dangers are going to come. All criticism will be there. All discomforts will be there. But we should not give up our service in spite of all these dangers. So from these great souls, in the path of devotion, we should put Krishna in the center. And all these great souls, when they go through these difficulties, they are showing us the path on how to be great. And obstacles will always make us strong. Even in the material world, if you see, right, anybody who is successful, if you see, if you take the interview, they, despite of all the difficulties, they do not give up. So similarly, the instruction is, do not give up your service in spite of all danger, all criticism, and all discomforts. And the sixth instruction he gave is, do not be disappointed because things are not going your way. So His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, in many occasions he told that, my way or no way, or my way I quit. So we should never be like that. If we are like that, we are going to face a lot of troubles. So when the devotees, when the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur goes and gives lectures, they will come back and give feedback. Only 2 people come today to my lecture. Only 3 people attend the lecture. Then he said that is wonderful. You are speaking the message of Chaitanya Dev for Krishna's satisfaction. Even if nobody comes up, you can just preach to the 4 walls very enthusiastically, very grateful. You should be very grateful. You should be empowered to preach. So do not be disappointed because things are not going your way. And the 7th instruction is, always hear and chant the names and glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever may come in our life, never let go of that. Now Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, what he meant is, do not give up chanting of the holy names. Whatever failures, whatever disappointments, whatever success, whatever pressures we may get in this world, never give up the chanting of the holy names. This is what keeps us connected to Krishna. Never give up hearing and chanting. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ends this phase of his last instruction with these words. You should have the patience and forbearance of a tree, and the humility and the humbleness of a piece of straw. So this is Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. You should be humble like a blade of grass, very patient, tolerant, forgiving, forbearing, even great obstacles. You should have so much patience like a tree. It's so forbearing. If you cut a branch, it doesn't protest. If you cut a second branch, it will still give the fruits. If you cut the third branch, whatever the remaining branches, it will still give leaves, it will still give flowers, it will still give fruits. If you cut even that branch, the trunk is also there. It will ask you to use for whatever you want. So that is the nature of the tree. So we should have so much patience. And to honor and appreciate and respect everybody, but we should not demand respect for ourselves. This is also one of the most important instruction in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhyalila 1380. Naham vipro na cha narapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varne na cha grihapatir no vanasto yatirva kintu prodhyam nikila paramananda purnamritabdhir gopi paratuh padakamalayur dasa dasa anudasaha. So, naham vipro na cha narapatir. I am not a vipra, I am not a brahmana. Na cha narapatir. I am not a narapati, I am not a king. Napi vaishyo. I am not a Vaishya. Na Shudro, I am not a Shudra. I am not a Grihastha, I am not a Brahmana, none of these. And then Naham Varni Nacha Grihapatir. I am not a Grihastha, I am of any Varna. No Vanasto Yatirva. Even I am not a Vanaprastha. I am not a sannyasi or grihastha or vanaprastha or brahmachari. Kintu prodhyam nikila paramananda purnamritabde. Gopi paratu padakamalayur dasa dasa anudasa. I am only the dasa dasa anudasa. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the maintainer of the gopis. He is always existing with brilliance. And he is the cause of universal transcendental bliss. So we should consider ourselves to be always the servant of the servant of the servant. Now between Krishna and us, how many layers of devotees are there? That is our achievement. If we have a spiritual master, if you are going and serving spiritual master directly, rather than that, if you have between your spiritual master and yourself, if you have a layer of devotees and you are serving those devotees, that is better. That is the instruction that is given. It is called Dasa Dasanu Dasa, servant of the servant of the servant. And Srila Prabhupada told that I am not doing, actually you are all doing. And he cried. In the lecture he cried. Anyone who listens to that, his heart will melt. He choked up. With all his heart, he made an appeal. Please carry out the order of my Guru Maharaj. So these are the 8 instructions given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, and Srila Prabhupada cried. And he's asking everybody, please carry out the order of my Guru Maharaj. He's crying and pleading with all of us. He's saying that through accepting the matchless gift of bhakti, cooperating together with enthusiasm, with all of your resources, the first instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati to Prabhupada is, it's the greatest need of the world to spread the compassion of the eternality of the soul. Give this knowledge and experience. Life and soul, you have to give your life and soul to execute this order. And Prabhupada, with a faltering voice, is begging, chant the holy names of Krishna, hear the glories of the Lord, and work together to give happiness to this world which is suffering. So these are the final instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And these are the 8 instructions from His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we have such a great parampara. We have such a parampara where it is such a selfless service. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is so brilliant in his aspects. And then he did all this for all of us to follow. So it is our great fortune to assemble here today and then discuss some of the glories of our Param Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So I made an attempt for this lecture. I thank the temple authorities and my Shiksha Gurus for giving this opportunity to me. So we can end here. I would like to ask if there are any questions or reflections. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Simi Mataji, you have any questions? You can please go ahead and ask question or feedback, whatever.
No, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. Prabhuji, I will just quickly check online in Facebook, YouTube, if there are any. So there are no comments there, but I would like to tell Prabhu that your narrations are very nectarian. You are a very good, like a narrator or storyteller kind of a person. When you speak, right? In this 1.5 hour, I don't know how this 1.5 hour passed. I just did not realize you are, the way in a natural way you speak. Is very attractive. Some people that tell story, right? You feel like listening, right? So you are a person like that, bro. When you speak, you didn't have any presentation, no fancy slides. You just went through the biography of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Very nice. And those eight instructions, yeah. That one of that some of the instructions have very practical value for an institution, right?
Yes.
Like not quarreling. The other one is like try to serve the lowermost rank of the devotees instead of he was that actually the real principle is don't try to take any credit basically.
Yes, Prabhu.
And give credit to others. When you do that, 99% of the problem in an institution, any institution, right? Even the corporations, actually, right? That gets solved. When you give credit to others and don't take credit for yourself, that most of the problems are solved,
Yes, yes.
right? So it has such practical value, actually, what they said.
Mm.
And the mission is also very important, right?
Yeah.
Here is the ultimate mission, right? You're propagating Krishna's name, which is Yuga Dharma for this Kali Yuga.
That is the sum and substance, and that is the only message. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your kind words and words of encouragement. It's all whatever I heard from my Guru Maharaj lectures, from my Siksha Guru's lectures, and whatever I read that came out. So all glories belong to Guru Maharaj, and all glories belong to Srila Prabhupada.
But
So-
you are a very good speaker, that everyone has to admit.
I agreed, Prabhuji. Very nectarian, and he's a very, very good speaker. And the story form was, so easy to
Yeah.
just follow.
Thank you, Mataji, for encouraging words. So again, as I said, everything what I heard from Guru Maharaj, I'm narrating the same thing again. Whatever I remember.
He is not going to accept it. He is a Vaishnava. Okay. Prabhu, I think we can probably close the session, Prabhu, now, because it's 8:30, past 8:30.
Prabhu. Thank you so much for this opportunity. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Acyuta Kumar Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.